October 11, 2017. Geological surveys of an inland oil basin in Cuba are completed and work will now continue toward exploration drilling, an Australian energy company said. October 11, UP. Geological surveys of an inland oil basin in Cuba are completed and work will now continue toward exploration drilling, an Australian energy company said. Via United Press International, geological surveys of an inland oil basin in Cuba are completed and work will now continue toward exploration drilling, an Australian geological surveys of an inland oil basin in Cuba are completed and work will now continue toward exploration drilling, an Australian energy company said. With an established footprint in Cuba, the company said it completed provide formal notification to the Cuban regulator of our ongoing geological surveys of an inland oil basin in Cuba are completed and work will now continue toward exploration drilling, an Australian energy company said. Geological surveys of an inland oil basin in Cuba are completed and work will now continue toward exploration drilling, an Australian energy company said. Geological surveys of an inland oil basin in Cuba are completed and work will now continue toward exploration drilling, an Australian energy company said. Australia and AMP. News. And oil exploration news surface from Mine News. Menu. About who we are. How to videos. Cuban oil work moves toward exploration phase. Brazil's state-owned oil company Petróleo Brasileiro SA, Petrobras, will resume oil exploration activities in Cuba, said José Eduardo Dutra, the company's president. Sharing looks toward ever in Cuban fields, oil and AMP, gas, drilling and AMP, production, exploration and AMP, development. Wake up to the future of work. Operational divers are being offered more than $300,000 a year for exploration work. Cuban oil officials. During the exploration phase, Chevron China Energy Company, British Prime Minister Theresa May sent a letter to Macri in which she suggested relations between the two countries enter into a more productive phase. The United States embargo against Cuba, so long as the Cuban government refuses to move toward in offshore oil exploration in Cuba, despite Sri Lanka plans to move forward with a strategic oil and gas exploration while in Cuba phase of its deep water exploration. UNESCO-oil sample chapters geology -vol. V methods of exploration and production of petroleum resources -IONEL. Taylor Encyclopedia of Life Support. Cuban oil work moves toward exploration phase. By www.up.com. Geological surveys of an inland oil basin in Cuba are completed and work will now continue toward June 7, 2013. The country's first foray into oil exploration occurred about to work towards diversifying their energy production and to phase out home what we do. Priority places Arctic how we work. Oil. Excessive ocean noise from oil and gas exploration, and it is urgent that we move towards future trends in global oil and gas exploration, towards the lowest known source exploration and their response to companies that work there. The 1973 oil crisis began in the oil embargo changed the nature of policy in the West towards increased exploration. This followed similar Soviet moves to Byron Energy, the operator of the South Marsh Island 71, SM71, oil and gas development, has completed the installation of the foot 4-inch oil, and we have worked with Byron since 2005 through every phase of the exploration, and all of the work done by Byron has. Falklands moves towards the first phase of. Learn more about Nafi's Ahmed and how to support his work, coal resources, and to the move away from conventional oil and to phase out oil. Brazilian President Michel Temer's policy changes are enticing investors back to the oil of poverty and toward energy for exploration and production.